What up, guys? Daily Kamel here. We are going to be going over the skills that were added as lifetime missions along with the release of Zillion of Thunder, and we're going to be covering a couple of cards that you're meant to use with the skills, and I'm just going to be giving my thoughts on how those decks are going to be performing and how they already are. But first things first, something that I noticed, there were two skills in the leaks that were Solomon Moto skills. However, Solomon Moto is released and he does not have these skills. So this play one, the legendary Exodia Incarnate, this skill does not include the legendary Exodia Incarnate in any way. It's in the game though. However, this text, I guess, is incorrect or whatever. And skill number 3 over here, this skill straight up does not exist. Now, there is the total possibility that on Solomon Moto's reruns, right, where we get another skill for the character, that we can get these skills. However, the second skill kind of being a carbon copy of one of the ones that are already in the game, just with the legendary Exodia Incarnate. I hope that it is a skill that we actually get, and I hope it's not just a mistranslation that happened. All right, but let's move on. Okay, first up, we've got Armed Crossover. This is a Chaz Princeton skill. And it says send one monster from your hand to the graveyard, then add one level monster from your deck to your hand, and 4 different Armed Dragon monsters and 1 White Veil to your deck from outside your deck. After doing so, send up to 2 monsters from your hand or deck to the graveyard, so with a combined level of 10, and select up to 3 monsters from the graveyard. As long as those selected monsters remain in the graveyard, they are dark. So let's talk about it. This skill is going to allow you to basically use Dark Armed Dragon in Armed Dragons, right? Because you need the Dark Monsters and all the Armed Dragons are win. And then this skill also just straight up like adds White Veil to your deck, which is absolutely amazing because then that is going to make White Veil actually probably usable for the first time, one of the first times in the game outside of just a suicide deck. So it's really cool that we're going to see White Veil being used with Armed Dragon. And, you know, this is pretty cool for anime references and all that. I like that. And Armed Dragon is definitely going to be seen playable within the deck itself. Now, this is probably one of the most expensive decks from the new box. You do need a ton of resources. You're going to need 3 of the Armed Dragon level 3. And let's take a look at Novo Mortis. He is a Daily Gang OG, and he is very well known for playing Chaz Princeton decks, Ojamas, and Armed Dragons. And their list, let's take a look at it. 3 Dark Armed Dragon and 3 of those Armed Dragon Thunder cards. And this deck, I do think it has a lot of good tools at its disposal. Armed Dragon Thunder level 10 is an absolutely insane monster, and actually having access to Dark Armed Dragon in your deck, going second, this deck is absolutely insane. You being basically able to clear your opponent's board. It's insanely resilient to back where, you know, you can chain into your higher level Armed Dragons, and as long as you do see Dark Armed Dragon, right, this skill is kind of doing the rest of the work for you. It's just making this card straight up playable, and I think that is one of the main things that you want a skill to do, is to make your boss monster very easily summonable. You want it to forward your main line of play as much as you can, and dude, it's checking all those boxes. Add a level monster to your hand, put White Veil in the deck so you can use it with Armed Dragon level 10, and put 3 Darks in the deck so you can summon Dark Armed Dragon. It supports all 3 of your mainline tools, and that is an amazing skill, no joke. Let's move on. All right, moving on, let's talk about Destiny Effect. You can only use the following effects once each during a duel in which you have normal summoned a Destiny Hero monster. After using the skill, you cannot normal summon or etc. special summon monsters except Destiny Hero monsters from the deck. So one thing about this skill, you only get the effect once each, then you're done. So your deck kind of has to do the rest of the work for you. So since you can set 1 polymerization from outside of your deck to your field and send 1 Destiny Hero Malicious from outside of your deck to your graveyard, then all monsters on your field with level 8 or higher gain 200 attack. From the 3rd turn and onward, you can return 1 banished Destiny Hero monster to your deck, then add 1 Destiny Hero Plasma from your deck or graveyard to your hand, and then return 1 card. So whoa, this skill is pretty busted, but it is balanced with the fact that it does limit you to 1 of each effect per turn. First, let's talk about you setting polymerization. That is pretty good, especially because Destiny Heroes, right, you're not so you really don't want to rely on masked heroes because they really don't have powerful effects anymore. And now Destiny heroes have some new tools, right? They've got the hero Dystopia Guy. This is a Destiny hero monster that I have wanted to be added for a very long time, and Destiny heroes are finally getting access to this Arc 5 era support. Dystopia Guy basically has an effect where if his attack points are different from his printed attack points, he will be able to destroy an opponent's monster on either player's turn. Now, only thing about this skill, right, that I don't really like with Dystopia is that you only get to boost it once. So otherwise, you're going to have to find some other way to manipulate your attack points. And I think your skill only doing that once kind of sucks. I think I would rather it just be, you know, all the time, have just it be there forever. Now it does say, you know, it's going to boost them by 200 and then it's not going to go away at the end phase. So basically your plan is what? Make sure your Dystopia who gets boosted remains boosted and remains on the field and they don't get destroyed. You just want to really protect this monster. So I guess it's not so bad. And then this card also says you will be getting Malicious from outside your deck to your graveyard. So I think that is super duper cool that we're actually going to get access to third Malicious, albeit through this skill. Let me know what you think about it, because there is something else. A lot of people are deciding to play the Ties That Bind over this skill, right? You can still utilize all of the new cards and hero support that we have. The only thing you don't really get if you run Ties That Bind instead of this skill is you do not get the ability to reset poly, you don't get third Malicious, and you don't have that Plasma callback skill, but you get a boosted Dystopia every single turn. So where is the trade-off here? What do you guys feel is better? Do you feel like Destiny effect is just so good that you should run it, or is something like Ties That Bind, you know, maybe a little more consistent for boosting all your heroes? Heroes also getting their first friggin' Link monster. Finally, man, Konami actually diving in and giving heroes some support. We'll talk more about that in my box review video. But Wonder Driver, while he is a great tool, this skill really isn't built for him specifically, but it is a great tool for Destiny heroes. So let me know what you think about them. Okay, let's talk about Pantheist Revelations. So I'm just going to put these cards on the screen just so you know, because it is a pretty lengthy skill. So this is going to add 3 Pantheism, and Pantheism is a great Monarch spell, and it's basically going to allow you to send 1 Monarch spell trap from your hand to the graveyard to draw 2 cards. So you go 2 for 2, and then you can banish it from the graveyard to make your opponent choose a Monarch spell trap at random for you to get from your deck. So pretty sick. The big part about this skill, though, is that you're going to be able from turn 4 and onward to swap out a Vassal and 1 Monarch spell or trap, and then add a Monarch or a Mega Monarch to your hand. All right, that's what it does. Now, what do I think about this? Well, the one thing that I've noticed about the card pool that we have for Monarchs in Duel Links is that we don't really have a great way to search the Monarchs themselves. There's a lot of searching for the Squires, right? The Idea going into the Dark Guy. You can search another Idea. You can chain that up, you know, for a while. However, you know, there's even the Monarch spell traps in the game right now. None of them straight up search Monarchs. Pantheism is the closest we're really getting to that, which is just going to allow you to draw your deck more so you can draw into a Monarch. But the biggest weakness of the deck is that it just basically does not pop off unless you open a Monarch or you draw one with Pantheism. And this skill says you can only use it on turn 4 and onward. I don't really know how I feel about that, albeit you do get to search a Mega Monarch or Monarch on turn 4. Just imagine if you're going first and you do not open a freaking Monarch and you have to pitch an Idea and a spell trap, you have to count on you getting so much resources. I don't know how this is really going to work out consistently. I think maybe if it was from the jump, if you could do it, I think it would be a little bit better, but that would be really powerful. Now, the new Monarch cards themselves, I think they're pretty cool. Karaz is kind of like, you know, you can let your opponent draw cards. I don't know if you really want to do that, but yeah, Monarchs, the skill, I think it does help them. However, I do think it is a little bit weak. I think that it would be way better if it was from the jump. However, you know, I guess just because they're just giving you a very, very powerful card that's going to let you draw through a lot of your deck, that they really didn't want to do that. However, you know, you do get to draw through your deck, so and it's really rough to say because you can't really afford to play any non-Monarch cards because you always have to have a cost for the skill. You have to have a Squire and a Spell Trap. So let me know what you guys are thinking about Monarchs. I think you just need a little bit too much, you know, for this deck to work, and you know, you're just restricting yourself from not playing, you know, other very powerful spells and traps, which you will also be falling victim to playing Monarch. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. All right, and last but not least, we've got a Burning Roar. This is a Salaman Great Soulbana skill. And it says add 1 Heat Lyo and Sunlight Wolf to your extra deck at the beginning of the duel. The following effect can be used once per turn. Until the end of this turn, all monsters on your field gain 100 attack for each monster on your field. And it can only be used if your deck contains 10 or more Salaman Great monsters, including 1 Heat Lyo. So this is kinda strange, right? This is basically Ties That Bind for Salaman Great, which is the skill that Salaman Great were using basically the entire time that they were a tier 0, tier 1 deck. And now they're basically just giving you Heat Lyo and Sunlight Wolf. But guess what, dude? You have to own Heat Lyo because you have to include a Heat Lyo yourself, right, into the deck. It has to be one of the 10 Salaman Great monsters that you play for your skill to go off. So you have to own Heat Lyo, and then you need 9 other Salaman Greats. Shouldn't be too hard, right? If the deck is giving you, if the skill is giving you more Sunlight Wolf and more Heat Lyo, it does give you the option to play other cards in your extra deck. However, right, you may want to take that chance to just make yourself able to play way more Salaman Great Sunlight Wolf so you never run out of extra deck monsters. Since the deck does combo very efficiently, they tend to run out of link monsters to go into before they can finish their combo. However, I don't know how I feel about this, right? Salaman Great, what the deck really needs right now is it needs more powerful extra deck options to go into. That's why the deck kind of pairs with Code Talker now, so that it can make Firewall Dragon and all that stuff. And this second clause of the skill is really making it so that, you know, you don't play Salaman Great Code Talkers when you are running the skill. But, you know, thinking about 10 Salaman Great monsters, so you gotta play Circle plus some monsters, man. I don't see a hybrid deck list with this skill working. I think it's gonna be solo Salaman Greats trying to capitalize off of having, you know, or Sunlight Wolf in your deck. I mean, what is the answer there? Having 3-4 Sunlight Wolf, what is the real benefit to that? Is it just better for you to play more generic link monsters and Xyz monsters and then just allow this skill to fill in your extra deck with the mandatory Salaman Great cards you need? Let me know what you guys are thinking for this skill. This one is definitely a weird one for me. But going back over each one, Armed Crossover and Armed Dragons, this is probably going to be the most fun, albeit very expensive skill. This is what I want to see its meta potential. And let me know what you guys think about Armed Dragons. I, however, am very excited about Destiny Effect. My favorite deck in Duel Links is back, so I'm definitely going to be going into the box to get Dystopia and Wonder Driver so that I can play this. Maybe I'll actually have fun doing a little gameplay stream with these guys. This skill, the only thing I'm worried about is that, you know, the Destiny Hero deck itself, the monsters within it, are kind of weak. So you will still be relying on, you know, limit 3 traps and crazy back row like Book of Moon to really be delivering the rest of your neutral game power. Although Dystopia is really going to help a lot with that now. And Monarchs, man, guys, let me know if I'm tripping thinking Monarchs are not going to pop off with this skill. I think it's given them a lot of their good tools. They have their core strategy down now. However, I just do not think it is coming together yet. I think it would have been okay if this skill gave us access to a card like the Monarch's Eruption, right? The one that negates all monster effects, right? Maybe not give us 3 of it like they're giving us Pantheism, but maybe give us 1 or something. You know, I don't know. I don't think this skill is going to be doing it. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if I'm tripping. And Burning Roar. I don't know, man. Someone's gonna make a goofy Solomon Gray deck list with this. Let me know what you guys are cooking up in the comments. But that's gonna be it for now, guys. Peace out. I'll see you later.